still remember the weight of that moment, the coldness in his voice, the echo of those two words in that giant marble office. He turned to me with his jaw clenched and his eyes like glass, and then he said, "It kids know, not maybe not later, just know that was." The moment I knew, whatever we had built, ended their asterisk. He stood by the tall window in his Armani suit, the skyline of the city glowing behind him like a battlefield. His hand gripped the edge of the table and mine gripped my own belly. Did not know yet, but Didi was carrying his child, but when he said those words so sharp, so final, I said nothing. Just picked up my bag, turned away, and walked out of his world. Have you ever loved someone so much you forgot to protect yourself so much that their rejection feels like a death? That was me that night. I walked through the glass doors of his empire and disappeared into the silence of the city. How does a man build everything but choose to destroy the one thing that could have saved him? His name was Ayan Malik, 35 years old, self-made billionaire, youngest tech CEO in the country, man worshipped by media, feared by competitors, and completely broken on the inside. He never spoke of his past, only that his mother had died young and his father never wanted children. He grew up in silence and steel. And maybe that is why he vowed to stay childless. But I never imagined he would mean it so violently, so coldly. He used to say he loved Maine, his own quiet way, sending midnight tea to my apartment, writing tiny notes on yellow paper, holding my hand under conference tables during long meetings. But love without future is just an illusion, and I had no space left for illusions anymore. That Nietzsche left the city, I left my job, left my name. I took a train to a small town 3 hours away and sat in a rented room with no curtains, listening to my own heartbeat as I held the pregnancy test in my hands. It was positive. I was 29, unemployed, pregnant, and yet somewhere inside me, strange fire began to burn. Was it anger? Was it love? Or was it the primal force of a mother rising for her unborn child? I do not know. Well, I knew I would not go back. Would you go back to the man who rejected your child before it even breathed? The days turned into weeks and my body began to change. So did my soul. Started teaching at a local school, living, simply saving every coin, eating less so I could buy vitamins, learning how to breathe through the nausea. The baby was growing and so was my silence. I did not tell anyone who the father was. Not even the old woman who rented me the room, not even the nurse who held my hand during delivery. And when the day commit was not just one heartbeat, they found it was two twin boys. I named them Rayan and Xavian. Rayan for the door of paradise, Xavian for the one who brings light. I remember holding both in my arms and crying like a river that had waited 9 months to burst. They looked nothing like me. Their eyes were his sharp gray, burning but their smiles, those belonged to Mitha. Years passed slowly, one bottle, one diaper, one fever at a time. I worked during the day, taught classes, marked papers, and by night I sang lullabies to two tiny souls who never asked for this life. They did not know their father was a billionaire. He once built rockets and wrote code that could stop planes mid-earth. They only knew their mother, the tired woman who made rice with her hands and stories with her heart. But sometimes I would see them building things out of cardboard, tiny machine circuits. One day Rayan wired a toy fan to his brother's nightlight, and I just stood there watching. How do bloodlines carry secrets like that? How does DNA remember things we never told? Di never hated Ian, but I never forgave him either. Some wounds are too deep for forgiveness. They just become a part of your bones. I kept waiting for a sign that he would come, looking that he would wonder why I disappeared without a word, that he would ask himself, where did she go? Why did she not return? But he never came in. Then one day 5 years later, he did it. It was raining that morning. The school was closed early and I had taken the boys to the public library and was holding a book about airplane. Xavian was humming near the fish tank and I was sipping tea by the window. Then I heard a voice, low, familiar, unmistakably. "Excuse me's the seat taken." I Turned Dan time stopped asterisk asterisk asterisk. He was standing there in Malik same. I same. Doll boat. Something was different. Something was broken. He looked thinner. Older tired eye did not speak neither. Did he for a moment the world just watched us like an audience holding its breath and then Zavian ran to me mama. Look I drew a rocket do. You like Etienne's eyes dropped to the child then. To the picture then to me his lips parted but no words came his hands. Trembled asterisk 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 but he kept them still and I saw it the truth. The moment when a man meets what he once rejected and realizes the cost his lips moved, again only one word escaped Sunzand. That is how chapter 1 ends, not with a fight, not with an apology, but with a word that changed everything's. That was all he said, like it was a question or maybe a confession. The word hung in the air like smoke Evian Spausbandong. Blankadrian turned toward him, their tiny hands still clutching the books they loved, and two stood frozen for 5 years. I had imagined this moment, rehearsed it in my head, what I would say, how I would walk away with dignity. But nothing came out. Could feel my heart beat in my throat, my legs wanted to move, but the mother in me held still protective. Wear a cold. They are Minyai. Said finally asterisk asterisk asterisk, my sons. He looked down at them again, then back at May, saw something shift in his eyes. Like door had opened inside him, and he was terrified to look considerate, and walked closer. He stared up at the tall man in the sutar. You a teacher, he? Askadian's lips moved. No, I used to know your mother's. Avian tilted his head. Are you her friend that broke me? That simple question, asterisk asterisk asterisk, that innocent trust. I knelt down beside them. Go find Miss Norien, tell her mama needs 5 minutes. They ran off like it was nothing to lives to. Hearts carrying his blood, and he had never even known their names. I stood up slowly, facing him again. 5 years of silence between us, and still no apology. You said no, whispered in that office. You said no. He closed his eyes like my voice hurt him. My did asterisk 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 asterisk, and I meant it back. Then why? Ask why. Did you hate the idea of children so much? He ran a hand through his hair, looked away, back at me. Because I was a child once and I was unwanted? That is not an excuse. I said, that is a wound, and you punish me for it. His voice cracked to left without telling. May never got to choose asterisk 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 asterisk. You chose the second you said no. I whispered. There was silence against them. Kind that lives between people who once loved each other deeply. Do you want to see? Demigani asked. He nodded, but slowly, like he was unsure he deserved to not. Yet he added, they think you are a stranger, and for now that's what you are. That hurt him. I saw it in his jowl, in the way his shoulders tensed. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Where have you been? He asked. Why did you never ask for anything? Because I did not need money. I needed Louvet. Needed belief, and you destroyed both with one word. He sat down on the wooden bench like his legs could no longer carry the truth. Lost everything after you left? He said. My company, my investors, my sleep. I raised an eyebrow. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. What happened? I stopped caring. He admitted. My work felt empty. My life had no anchor. I thought you had left because I was not enough. You were enough. I said you just refused to share yourself. He looked up. Do you hate me? I paused. No. I did, but now I just protect myself. He nodded, then reached into his coat pocket, pulled out a folded paper. What is this? I asked. Something I wrote a few months ago before I ever saw you again. He handed it to May. It was a letter addressed to someone unnamed. I am sorry it began. I said no to something sacred, and no, all I have is the sound of that silence. I folded the letter and gave it back. You I cannot rewrite 5 years with one page. Guy said. He stood up again. I know, but maybe I can earn one moment at a time. Asterisk, asterisk. Miss Noreen returned with the boys. They ran to me, both chattering about a storybook contest. I watched them, his hands in his pockets. A man who had built cities but now stood powerless in front of his own blood. Rayan turned to me. Mama can he come to? He looked at Ionon for the first time in years. I saw something close to tears in his eyes maybe. One day I said not. Today we left the library. I did not look back. Asterisk, 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 but I knew he was still standing there, watching, remembering, regretting that night after. I tucked the boy zine, sat by the window, and stared at the stars. Do fathers ever feel the weight of absence due? They ever lie awake imagining the lives they missed? I did not know what tomorrow would bring, but something had shifted, and I could feel it. The next day, asterisk, 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 a letter arrived at the school, no name on the envelope, just my handwriting in the address, side to photographs Swemi and Ion at a company Galay before. Everything Broctois Xavian and Rayanat, the library yesterday on the back line written. In pencil he was blind, but now I see that week more letters can meet one with something real. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Something broken a page from his old therapy notes. A drawing he made of 3 stars, 1 big, 2 small, and then one day a package. Rocket made of wool and a note. Give this to the boy who drew rocket still. Him he gets it from me. That is when I broke the tears. I had locked away for 5 years, came flooding out. Was this redemption? Was this guilt? Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Or was it just a man trying to rebuild a bridge he once set on fire? I did not know, but I let the boys keep the rocket every night. They held it like a treasure, and every night I wondered if the past was finally dissolving, but nothing stays simple for long, because 2 weeks later I received a call, unknown number, private line. Hello, is this Miss Arieswo? Is this? The voice on the other end was sharp, official. Asterisk, asterisk, lawyer Likathis is regarding a pending custody case filed by Mr. Ion Malakand. Just like that, everything cracked open again. This is regarding a pending custody case filed by Mr. Ion Maliktha. Words hit me like a thunderclap, not because I was afraid, but because I never expected him to go that far. Custod. He wanted Ritstu. The children he once refused to acknowledge. I sat on the floor, the phone still pressed against my ear. The boys were playing in the next room, laughing, singing, building paper planes. I was shaking, not with fear, but with a storm that had waited 5 years to speak. Now asterisk, 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 why? After all this time, the woman on the call kept speaking. There will be a hearing. You are being formally notified. I asked her one question. Did he sign the documents himself? Yes, the voice replied. He filed it personally 3 days ago. 3 days, that was before the rocket toy bee, for the letters, asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Before the photographs of the Saul of it was strategy, not redemption. That night, I could not sleep. Lay in bed with the boys between me, their tiny hands resting on my arms. I kept thinking, is love something you earn back through Kortor does? It die the moment you try to buy. E.T. wanted to scream, but mothers do not scream. They protect, they endure, they survive. In the morning I took the boys to school, then took the train to the city I once left in silence. Asterisk, asterisk, the city that had once made me fall in love and fall apart at the same time. I stood outside a tall glass building, not his office. His lawyer's office. EIA walked in. Oh, makeup, no heels, just fire in my spine. They asked me to wait, offered me TA, refused. Then he entered Aner Malik. Time, not in a designer suit, asterisk, 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 but in a plain sweater. No
Arrogance.
watch, no arrogance. He sat across from me, his face unreadable. Why? Asked, why would you take me to court? Because I want to be their father, he said, not from the outside, but for Rilu. Do not get to decide that with a poppery snap. To lost that right when you said no. His voice was Kamai, was afraid, and I was wrong. But I am not afraid anymore. Free. Repeated asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Do you know what fear looks like? It looks like waking up every 2 hours to check if your baby is breathing. It looks like boiling rice with borrowed gas. It looks like walking past hospitals because you cannot afford antibiotics. He was silent. I gave them life. A gave them safety. You gave them nothing but a name you never said out loud. Am saying it now, he whispered every night. I say it now. It's too late. I said. Then he reached into his coat again, another paper not custard, his team a letter he never sent. I wrote this the day I saw them at the library, he said, but I was afraid to hand it to you. I opened it. It said nothing about rights, nothing about blood only. A line that stopped my breath. If I had known what your silence was, hiding, I would have chased you through every street in this world. I closed the letter, but I did not cry. We are not characters in a film, I said. We are not here for perfect endings. Then tell me what I am, he asked. What do you see when you look at May? Looked straight into his eyesight. See a man who built machines but never built a Solly. See a man who wanted control, not connection. He nodded slowly, then said something I did not expect. AM withdrawing the case? What, I just wanted to scare you so? You would face me so? You would hear me so? I could ask Cask what Ty demanded. Can I try? He said, not to win, not to take, just to try to be there somehow. Hands were trembling because I did not know what to believe, but the truth is part of me wanted him to ask, that part of me, the girl who once loved him, the woman who still watched the boys search the crowd when other kids had fathers at school events. Night back at home, I gave the boys the wool rocket again. Do you remember who gave you this, I? Ascadria nodded. The tall man, he likes rockets to what? If I said what? If you wanted to visit sometime, would that be okay? They both looked at each other, then back at me. Only if he brings us storybooks, Savian said, the kind with pictures and dragons. That was their condition in. So it began every Sunday and would come to the park nearby, no suit, no staff, just him, in a backpack with books and pencils, and the same awkward smile. He never rushed, never tried to claim them, just listened, drew with them, asked questions. He never once called himself Pop until one day Xavian had a nightmare, came run into my bed. He was shaking, sweating, crying. I calmed him down, but he said something in a whisper that shattered me. Can I sleep with Papa today? Froze. What did you say? Asked softly. The tall man, Xavian, said he is my Papa, right? I nodded slowly. That night, told him what happened. He was silent for a long time, then he said, can I bring him breakfast in the morning? Yes, I replied. You can, but peace is never permanent. Not in real life. 2 weeks later, the school called. Someone had uploaded photos of the boys of Muavian. At the park, it was trending. The billionaire's secret family. News anchors screamed, blogs speculated, social media exploded. And just like that, the world tried to claim what we had tried so hard to protect. T.I. turned on the TV on Malik scene with twins at a suburban park. Rumors say he fathered them with a former employee who vanished 5 years ago. There were photos zoomed and edited, twisted. How did they find us? Who sold the story? Was it someone at the library? Was it someone who saw us walking? Do not know, but in that moment everything we had built began to collapse. I looked at the boys sleeping peacefully, and I knew the storm was just beginning. The storm was just beginning. By morning, my phone had over 100 messages, journalists, bloggers, people I had not spoken to in years. Suddenly everyone had something to say about my life. There were cameras outside the school, strangers waiting near the gate, reporters holding up microphones, trying to get a shot of my boys, the same boys who had never even heard the word scandal. Now, caught in the middle of one they never asked for, I rushed to the principal's office, told them I was pulling my sons out. For now they understood, but the damage had already started. Parents were whispering, children were pointing in their tiny eyes. I saw confusion, not shame, just questions. Questions I could not answer without breaking. I took them home locked. The doors, turned off the lights. Then I called Himajana. His voice was already tight. He saw the news, he said. They were camped outside my building. 2 who leaked ID. Asked I do not know, he replied. But someone is profiting off our pain. I looked at my boys sitting on the floor drawing dragons with broken crayons, and I made a decision. I will leave the city. Agani did know, he whispered. Please, do not disappear again. What choice do I have? They are children, not headlines. There was a pause, then he said something I did not expect. Let us disappear together. What, let us go somewhere far, somewhere quiet, just for a while. I could not breathe. Are you saying you would walk away from all this? The company, the cameras, everything? He sighed. None of that means anything if I lose them. If I lose you. Ganai hung up without replying. The next day, He was waiting outside my building, no car, no guards. Just him. He handed me a folder inside flight tickets, new school admission forms, a small house on rent by the ocean, 2 hours from the city, private Safe-I stared at him. Why are you doing this? Because for the first time I'm choosing family, not control. I closed the folder, my heart a war zone, and then I said yes. We left that weekend, packed only what we needed, left the rest behind. The house was small, but sunlight poured in through every window. The ocean was close. The boys ran wild, free and touched by headland Asayan. Worked remotely, cooked with us, sat with the boys during homework. He was not perfect. He burned toast, forgot laundry, mixed up their lunchboxes. But he tried, and I watched from a distance, letting time prove what love never could won. Nitrain got sick, high fever, coughing, crying. I held him in my arms, worried, exhausted. Then Ion came in, took Rayon from me, placed a cold towel on his forehead, and just sat there, not panicking, not rushing, just staying the way a father stays. That was the first night I let my guard fall. We did not speak. We just watched the boy sleep, his fever slowly fading, our silence finally soft. But peace never lasts. One morning I received an enveloped, a no return address inside, a printed contract, custody papers again, asterisk, 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 signed by Ian. But this time they were different. It was not about him claiming them to me. Full custado, no demands, no court, just a note at the bottom. If anything ever happens to, may want them with you, always with you. My hands trembled. What are you not telling? May asked him. That night he looked at the sea, asterisk, asterisk,
Asterisk.
silent for a long time. I had a scan, he said, 6 months ago, before I found you again. What scan? A tumor behind the eye. They said it was benign, but last week the headaches came back. I felt the ground shift beneath me. Why did you not tell me? Because I wanted to be here as a father, not a patient, not a tragedy. Asterisk, asterisk. We got him checked again this time. It was not benign. They used big words, complicated charts, but I heard only one thing: uncertain, aggressive, spreading. He started treatment. The boys never noticed. He smiled through the pain-built sandcastle shred. Story still wore that awkward, loving smile, but I noticed the weight. Lost the way he winced when he thought no one was looking. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. The way he hugged the boys a little tighter each night. One evening, he sat me down. If I go, promise me you will not let them hate. May shook my head. You are not going anywhere, promise me, he said. Again, if they ever asked, tell them. I tried tell them. I showed. I wanted to scream too, begged to curse the universe, but instead I nodded. Weeks passed, and then one morning he did not wake up on time. He was on the couch, a book open beside him. Asterisk, 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 his hand resting on a drawing from Zabian, was breathing but barely. The ambulance came. Machines beeped. The boys watched from the doorway, too young to understand, too old to forget. TA held his hand in the hospital, his eyes fluttered open. You stayed, he whispered. Always, a replied, then his eyes closed again. He survived that night, but the doctor said no promises, so I made one instead, to myself, to my sons, to the boy who once said Noi will not run again. If this is the end, we will face it together. If it is not, we will rebuild one day, one hug, one bedtime story at a time. But I still wonder, what if I had told him back then? What if I had not walked away? If he had said yes instead of no, would things be different? Would we still be here, or were we always meant to meet again in ruins of what almost was? I do not have answers. Only love, only time, and to boys who now know that even broken fathers can become something whole if they choose to.